It's a privilege to be joined on the summit today by Erik Larson, who is the athletic director for Lackawanna College in Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of the Falcons. And Mr. Larson, big news coming out this week. And I know we're now really officially into the 2025-2026 athletic season. But the big news is that Lackawanna is making the jump from junior college all the way to NCAA Division II. That doesn't happen very often. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, thank you, Joey. I appreciate you having me on this afternoon and having the opportunity to have this conversation. Now, it is a really big deal for Lackawanna College. And believe it or not, we are not the first. So we'll be the third institution to make this transition from the NJCAA to the NCAA. First was Young Harris College out of Georgia in 2014. They successfully did it. To my knowledge, however, we will only be the second program with a football team or a football program to make this transition as well. So we are unbelievably excited about it and what it's going to do, not only for the college, but for our athletics program as well. Regionally, it's going to be a big deal for us in terms of recruiting and what it means to the city of Scranton. Unbelievable information. We've really been looking, working towards this for quite a while now. Like I think we first had this conversation way back in 2019. And
wow.
So the point that we've, to be able to get to this point now is almost surreal. So now, I mean, our challenges really begin. This is when the work really gets started. For anybody familiar with applying to the NCAA for membership, in order to do that, you must have a conference invite. And so we were able to get that invitation from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. And to do that, that was the monumental piece in our transition, because without it, you couldn't do anything else. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a big deal to us.
I want to talk about that too, because that is a big deal, and it's a solid D2 conference. I mean, you're going to get up there right among a number of quality programs. Dr. Jill Murray, the president of the college, had mentioned in news reports that this has been something that has been going on for a while. You were talking about since 2019. Really, the athletic department, I know, is not the sole focus of the entire college. However, wanting to make improvements and make a jump has been in the works for a while.
And it has, and it's been a conversation. The institution itself has been adding, bachelor's degree programming and given those additional opportunities for students all along. And so now, like, this almost gives us the full transition effect to go from a 2-year to a 4-year institution. Now, that being said, we are still an innovative college and still going to be offering those 2-year degrees for those students who, those programs still have value. But from an athletic standpoint, yes, we're going to continue to add bachelor's degrees. We're going to have the opportunity here very soon to add master's programming. And so that, with the transition athletics, it just continues to grow what the college is able to do. It continues to add, and I know I've already said it multiple times, it gives our students and now our student athletes additional opportunities from an academic standpoint, and now to compete at a high level in the athletics programs. Like you said, the PSAC is a very well-known and recognized conference in the country. We are so excited about how they represent not only athletics, but their academic standards. And we mirror that currently. And that is a really important piece to us, which is another reason why the PSAC was such, that's who we wanted to be with. And so we feel really fortunate that we're able to get that invitation to the PSAC.
Absolutely. Well, it's a process too. This is the next step, but applying to Division II and then getting the opportunity, then it's not all said and done right then. I mean, it's a 3-year process. Tell us a little bit about that process and where you are right now.
So it's a little different for a 2-year institution transitioning to 4. If you're an NAIA or if you're a D3, making that transition, like, it's a little easier for you. So don't forget, as part of the membership application, like, your student athletes, from a compliance perspective and to be eligible, have to be 4-year degree seeking students. So that's the number one piece. All our student athletes will be transitioned and be recruited as 4-year degree seeking students. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, in order to file for an application to the NCAA, you have to be competing against 4-year institutions. And so that process will begin for us in the fall of 26. Currently, right now, the 2025, 2026 will be the last year as Lackawanna College competing as an NJCAA institution.
Absolutely. I understand. And that's the thing too, it's we get to make the announcements now, and those are the fun things,
Yep.
getting to talk about the future and so much that you all have put into that. But as you were saying too, the work's still going, and it continues from this point. So it's part of a process. We're getting to visit now today with Erik Larson, who is the athletic director at Lackawanna College, and right here on the Summit on Midwest Sportsnet. And I encourage you, please take the time, like this video, please subscribe to the channel. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. You were talking about football, and it's this just doesn't happen very often. And I've heard first school to make this jump with football. You're saying possibly second school, anyway around it. I mean, this really is, it's a big deal. However, well, I tell you what, you want to talk about having an ace up your sleeve right there, Coach Mark Duda, who has been on staff really since its inception, 213 wins to just 99 losses, leading as the winningest coach, active winningest coach in the NJCAA. That has to help a lot, having him on board with this too.
So Coach Dewitt was one of the first conversations that I had, and talking about the opportunity to do this, and just kind of feeling him out. Coach, can we do this? Is this something we could pull off? And I'll be honest with you, the bigger conversation, from Coach Duda was, will this benefit our student athletes?
Right.
And the answer is resounding yes. So we talk about it all the time in terms of making this transition, that we need the right people in the right places to help us be successful in a transition such as this, because it's a huge endeavor. Coach Duda is absolutely one of those individuals and one of those staff members that can help us do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well recognized throughout the country. He's had, like you said, 213 wins as an NJCAA coach. He played in the NFL. He played for the University of Maryland. He's had over 450 student athletes sign Division I offers. So the guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to recruit student athletes, and he knows how to promote our students and help them be successful. And he's always, 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 looking out for our student athletes and what is best for them. Right. And so in knowing that and having him on your side is a huge asset to Lackawanna College in the athletic department to allow us to make this transition. We'll be leaning on him pretty heavily, in terms of what recruiting will look like, because now recruiting changes for us. Our focus as a two-year institution is to recruit student athletes to compete at a high level. But then how can we place you to continue your athletic career and be highly successful, and to continue your athletic career, because you only have 2 years here. And so we want to, ensure that we're able to place them in the best possible position for them. Coach Duda is, as somebody who has that knowledge of recruiting and knowing how, that recruiting piece and that conversation is going to change a little bit. How can we still maintain and recruit those student athletes for Lackawanna College to be the place they call home for 4 years?
Absolutely. What a luxury, though. I'm sure.
Agreed. Absolutely agree.
That has to be a big deal for you all, and I'm happy for you to have him there as well, and a great endorsement for him, not only as a coach but a mentor too. Are there any built-in rivalries that you're headed toward, schools and with at least some degree of proximity?
We don't necessarily have rivalries established yet in terms of the NCAA or the PSAC conference, but we have good relationships. From a recruiting perspective, we've placed a number of student athletes in these institutions. So I'm certain rivalries will now develop, because now we'll be looking to maintain and keep those student athletes on campus here. But give it time. And like everything else, it'll be, at some point in time, there'll be competitive nature that really stands up, and that'll come out in some of these competitions.
You make a valid point, though. You're not going to be the pipeline anymore. That's going to be a real letdown, I'm sure, for some of the schools, some of those D2 schools, and even D1 schools, as you mentioned, in the area. So you get to keep those players at home. Well, I would ask then to wrap up our time, and I'm very thankful for that. Then for fans of Lackawanna College, fans of the Falcons, for 25-26, what should those fans expect?
Not much different, to be honest with you. We'll still be traveling all over the country. We're still going to give every opportunity that we can to allow our student athletes to compete for championships, and we'll support them in doing so. Where you're going to start seeing the changes is in the transition and getting ready and preparing for 26-27. Hopefully those student athletes that we have here today, and this has always been a growing conversation. We have a number of student athletes that really communicate to us, boy, I wish we had more than 2 years of academic or athletic eligibility here, because we'd like to stay. And so now after this year, they're going to have those opportunities, and now we can have some real conversations and giving them the ability to do so and stay here at Lackawanna College to continue not only their academic careers, but now their athletic careers as well. So we're looking forward to those conversations as well.
All right. Well, success to you all. And I hope that 25-26 is a great athletic year for you all. And then, of course, the future, too, looks to be very, very bright. Mr. Erik Larson, Director of Athletics at Lackawanna College, thank you very much, sir, for taking time with us today here on Midwest Sports Net.
Thank you so much for having us on.